Hey, and welcome to another Unlock Your Next podcast episode. I'm Tamika Thompson, your host, your midwife of purpose and realtor, here to help you unlock every area of your life. Listen, today's episode, I want to just kind of share with you just a few things, right? This is our very first episode, and I'm really excited about it. Have you ever felt like you're standing at the door of your next season, but fear keeps you from like turning that key? Like, think about it. Think about it. Think about where you are right now in your life. Have you ever, I feel like the song, have you ever in your long legged life? Have you ever been standing at the door, knowing that your next opportunity is here, knowing that your next season is coming, knowing that your next season is approaching, but fear is keeping you from being able to turn the key? Well, listen, today we are going to be defining what fear is. Today we're going to be unlocking all those different things so we can move you, sis, from out of standing still, from being paralyzed out of fear, and then moving so we can move into our next season and all that God has for us. So let's define fear. Fear at its core is a fundamental human emotion triggered by perceived danger or threat. I want to say that again. It is triggered by Perceived means that it hasn't even happened to you. Perceived means that it is not even real for you right now. Perceived means that it is not even taking place inside of your life yet. So perceived means that I am imagining this fear or this danger or this threat. So we aren't moving because we are imagining this fear, imagining this danger, imagining this threat. Whether you've seen it happen to somebody else or whatever the case is, both real and imagined. Sometimes we have a fear because we have been sitting in the midst of a lifetime of receiving certain things because of how life has served us, right? However life has served you. You've been sitting in the midst of, well, I don't want that to happen again. I've seen that before. Nope, I've experienced this and I don't want to go back to that. So sometimes that fear is real or it's imagined. But whatever it is, just know that your fear is an adaptive response. So there are moments in your life that God is pulling you to, God is calling you to, God is nudging you to. But because of your perceived fear, because of the perceived danger, the perceived threat, you are not moving in that space. So today we are going to just unlock that. And if I can be 100% real with you right now, you are literally listening and witnessing me stepping beyond fear. It is literally me stepping out and beyond where fear paralyzed me, right? Where fear has caused me to disobey God, where fear has caused me not to move, where fear has caused me not to, moving the things that I know God has called us to. And I know I'm not alone on today. So I want this episode to be an episode of you unlocking and unbreaking and getting beyond the fears that are in your life. So when we're looking at fear, because fear will paralyze you, right? Fear will make you sick. Fear will keep you worrying. Fear will keep you scared. Fear will keep you in the state of being afraid and fearful all the time. Fear will keep you in disobeying God. Fear will keep you in the midst of poverty. Fear will keep you in the midst of being around certain people and in certain relationships that you know that you've outgrown, that you know God is telling you to get out of, in certain places, in certain jobs. You know that you're not supposed to be there. But you're allowing the fear of the perceived threat or the perceived danger to keep you in a place that you have outgrown, to keep you in a place that you have matured from, to keep you in a place of disobedience. Let's get out of that. In this season, we're walking boldly into our next season beyond fear. So moving forward, right? What does moving forward look like beyond fear, despite our uncertainties, despite all of our past failures, right? What does that really look like? So one of the things that I want us to be able to start doing is we spend a lot of time, whether we're, talking to different people and then we're not moving in action. Right? We spend a lot of time doing different things with different people, going to seminars, going to webinars, going to conferences, going to brunches, going to church on a regular basis, but we're still not moving and activating all the things that God has called for us to be able to do. So here are some practical strategies, right? Listen, I want you to know that we feel fear, but I want you to do it anyway. Tasha Cobbs has this song out called Do It Anyway. I want you to do it anyway. And then Joyce Myers has a book out that basically is, if you're scared, do it anyway, right? Making sure that you are able to do it beyond what you see, what you feel, what you understand. This podcast, everything that I am doing in this season, y'all, it's not that I wasn't afraid. It's not that I didn't have all the things, right? We start this chatter, this self-corrupting chatter inside of our own mind, inside of our own head. And subconsciously, we start to believe the lies that we tell ourselves. It's time to change the narrative. Start identifying what you're afraid of. And then ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen? If I do this, or if this takes place, what's the worst thing that could happen? Then ask yourself, right, what's the best thing that could happen? Most of the time, we only see the worst. Now let's start shifting that narrative and changing the script and changing our conversations to now ask the question, what's the best that could come out of this? What's the best that could happen if I move in this thing? And then choose to move forward for the best outcome. Right? I want you to understand, like, I could share so many stories of where fear has literally paralyzed me. Like, all of my life, y'all. I can tell all of my life. Fear has in some way paralyzed me or stopped me from moving forward. Right? I remember leaving the military, and I was in the Air Force. All of my Air Force vets, listen, we love every branch, but I got to tell you that the Air Force is the best one. So I remember deciding to leave the Air Force, and I was separating from the Air Force. I didn't retire, but I separated from the Air Force, and wondering what was going to be the state of mind and how I was going to be able to provide for my family after leaving the Air Force. Being in this big world where you're thinking, oh, I'll be able to make this amount of money, this amount of money. I was working on my degree, doing all the things. But then even when I got there, it wasn't what I expected. And then fear started to creep in. Right? Coming from a place of poverty when I was younger, understanding that I knew what it was like to be poor, right? I knew what it was like to not to have. I knew what it's like to have lack and to not have the things that you think that you should be having, like on a regular basis, like a normal dinner, knowing what's for dinner every night. Being able to have some of the specialties that, you know, now we enjoy, now we can celebrate. But growing up, I didn't have all those things. And so the fear of, I don't ever want to go back, or I don't want my family to experience that. I don't want my kids to experience that. That is a real fear, right? And a lot of you aren't moving because you got the fear of. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Identify what that thing is, because it worked out for me in the good. And if you really understand, listen, God is not going to have you out here looking crazy in the face. Maybe sometimes, right? But just know that he's going to always keep you. He's going to always guide you. He's going to always cover you. He's always got you. There is no reason for you to be afraid, because he is the God of the impossible, and there is nothing impossible for him to do. Once I realized that was when I started to make the baby steps. And every single time I made the baby step. And so what we have to understand, the opposite of fear is faith. We can't have faith and also have fear. So I had to shift the narrative to really start trusting God the more. Knowing that what you are afraid of or what you are scared of is real, right? Whether it's imagined or perceived, or whether it's happened to you or it hasn't, but also knowing that God, we serve a real God as well. That's never going to leave us. That's never going to forsake us. And who always, like, whatever the enemy has set up to make bad for us, he's always going to turn it around for our good. So we got to trust God in this process, whatever that process is for you, sis, whether you are waiting for a promotion, whether you just got laid off for your job, whether you are seeking another opportunity, whether you're looking to go and buy you a new house and you're not sure what to do, whether you are the one, the chain breaker, right? The generational cycle breaker. And oftentimes we, the generational cycle breakers, we face things the worst because we don't have the blueprint. We don't know where we're going oftentimes. We do have a lot of uncertainty because we've never seen it in our family generation or our lifeline. But guess what? You have everything in you right now that you're supposed to have to be able to move to the next. Hear God in this season. Don't allow the negative chatter in your head and what life has served you up until this point to stop you even more or to delay what God has for you in this next season. This next season is something completely different. And so if I'm being 100% honest with you, I've been over my life just going through and crushing the fears, identifying what the fears were. Okay, this is the worst thing that can happen. This is the best thing that can happen. It turned out to be an amazing career for me once I left the military. And I don't look back. I miss the people. Yes, I do. We were like family. But I don't miss the career of what that was. God has blessed. God has kept. God has provided. God has taught. God has given favor. He's done abundantly above all that I could even imagine or think, looking back at the young woman who was trying to figure out how we were going to navigate life after the military. So I want to encourage you on today, sis. Stop allowing your fears to keep you bound. God has more for you. I know stepping into something new is scary. And maybe you're doubting if you're qualified or wondering if God really called you or even if God even sees you. And I've been there, sis. And I'm here to tell you that he sees you, that he knows you. You're right exactly where he wants you to be. Now trust him through this next phase of your journey. He's not going to leave you. Women, we often face the fear of failure, right? And even sometimes the fear of success, wondering if this is successful, how will it change me? The fear of judgment, y'all, can I tell you, this fear of judgment is real. It's really real. I am writing my first book that will be releasing in the very beginning of the year. And one of the things that I was able to identify, I was writing the book, was I had to realize that I had to give myself permission to be judged. We want to be so perfect. We want to look a certain way. We want to talk a certain way. We want to be a certain way because the judgment is real. And this cancer culture is real, from the church to the streets, from the corporate America to everything in between and on these internet streets, right? The judgment is real. But I had to get to a point to where I loved myself enough to just be obedient with God. I loved myself enough, the flaws and all. I loved myself enough to be able to say, God, here I am, everything in me, use it for your glory. We have this fear of feeling unworthy. And if I could just help you out, sis, we'll never be qualified. We'll never be worthy enough. But God still chose you. And that should speak volumes. We have this fear of overthinking and overanalyzing every decision and everything that we're doing in life. Listen, I just want to let you know that your fears are real. I want you to know that we see you. I see you. And it's okay to have that fear. But now it's also okay to move forward. Stop allowing the fear to block you and to keep you where God wants to take you. So here, fear is no longer your driver. I want you to repeat that after me, right? I want you to say, fear is no longer my driver. Say that. I'm going to give you a minute. Your first name, your name. Fear is no longer my driver. Fear is only an indicator that is going to allow you the stepping ability to step into the new territory, right? It's an indicator. It's letting you know that there is something that you see, that you experience, that you were feeling that is uncertain, but it is a new territory for you. It is a new territory. So here's what I want you to do, right? I said we were going to do practical steps, practical resources, practical steps. Here's what I want you to do. You want to get beyond fear. I want you to do journal prompting. If you don't have a journal, make sure that you get a journal, right? I will put a link inside of my bio for you to be able to get a journal, but you can get them from anywhere, right? Don't allow anything to stop you from just writing. Start in your phone. There's, I think, a journal app inside of like the iPhone. Start there. Start somewhere, but start the journal prompting inside of your phone. And I want you to just start journal prompting. Like, what area of my life am I holding back from fully stepping into, and why? That's your journal prompt. What area of my life am I holding back fully from stepping into, and why? And then I want you to choose one bold move this week that you're going to make to be able to step beyond your fear. Whether if it's you writing a book, I want you to find somebody to do the book consultation. Whether it's you registering for a particular class, I want you to do that. Having a hard conversation with somebody, right? Ending a relationship, creating a budget. If you're looking into buying a home, like having and taking that first step of reaching out to your realtor. Whether it's maybe you want to buy an investment or start investing, reaching out and finding that one company or that one person that you want to start that conversation with. Take one bold step. I'm not asking you to do 2 or 3, but one bold step. And then I also want you to remember Joshua 1:9. It says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Know that God is not going to leave you. He is not going to forsake you, and he is always with you. Remember, small steps build momentum, and momentum builds confidence. So here are your takeaways for today. The power of boldness. I need you to know that God has so much more in store for you. Step beyond that fear. Fear doesn't define you. It is just an indicator to let you know that you are stepping into a new territory, right? And then take one small step this week. Remember the journal prompts. Do one bold thing. And remember Joshua 1:9. All right, sis, listen, I hope that today's podcast gave you some type of courage. It encouraged you some kind of way to take a bold step forward to get beyond fear. Remember, fear may show up, but it doesn't get to run your life, sis. God has gone before you, so walk in confidence, knowing he's with you every step of the way. If this has blessed you on today, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another sister. Share it with another woman who is ready to unlock her next. And drop a comment below. What's the one bold move that you're going to be making this week? I want to know so that I can celebrate with you. All right, sis? I want to stand with you. I want to pray with you and hold you accountable. And in our next podcast, listen, we're going to be talking about faith and real estate, how they come together to build legacy. So make sure that you stay tuned, right? Kingdoms and Contracts. You don't want to miss that. Until next time, keep showing up, sis. Keep trusting God and keep unlocking your next. I love y'all and awesome blessings.